In Parashat Vayigash, we read that after Yosef told his brother who he is, they were, of course, stunned by Balum Panav, Kin Balum Panav, and he showed them proof that he is their brother. One of them he told them, Kifihem daber alechem, that I am talking to you. Rashi said, B'lashon HaKodesh, he was talking to them in Hebrew. So every year, when in this parasha, I try to elucidate and understand more different aspects of the Hebrew language. It is very important to speak Lashon HaKodesh. In fact, one of the rabbis, I forgot his name, that the one who lives in Israel and ochel cholim betahara, that even the chol he will eat them without tub'ah, and say Kirat Shema morning and evening in time, and speaks Hebrew, mubtah lo shehu ben olam haba, that for sure he will go to heavens. So it's very important to know and to speak Hebrew and to know more about the Hebrew language. Now, there is an issue that always, every time I am in Israel, when I hold the coin, the shekel, I see on the back there is some kind of writing that I can't read. Also, on the 10 shekel coin, the yellow and the white, there is writing. Also, there is Hebrew writing called Ligulat Zion. And beside that, there is also writing that I cannot decipher. And I understood that they call the one that I didn't understand הכתב, העברי, Hebrew writing. And so what is the writing that we are familiar with? They said that they call that הכתב Ashuri, that from Assyria, or we will see other meaning to that, or הכתב מרובע, that it is square, because by and large the Hebrew letters are square, not up and down a lot, except for certain letters, especially the final letters of few letters. So it always puzzled me. Now it has a halachic implication, because we do know that in Devarim it says after it in Parashat Va'etchanan, after it lists again the Aseret Berot, it says Devarim Deber Hashem El Kol Ka'alchem Bahar V'echtebem Al Shenei Luchot Abanim V'tenem Elai, that he wrote them on 2 tablets, and he gave them to me. So the question is, in what form of alphabet it was they were written? And that occupied the mind of the rabbis for generations. Now, we will like to talk a bit about the science of the inscription. They call it epigraphy. Say about the history of the writing. The human beings started to inscribe, to write for the last more than 5,000 years. The first writing, according to the science, and we'll see the Jewish aspect of this issue in a minute, that it started in the Persian Gulf area, and it was pictures, which means that it is bet, human being, animal, dog. They used to draw it, and that will be type of expression of what the writer wants to say. Later on, another 1,000 years it took, that it became more simplified, whereby they started to use something called yetedot, كتابة yetedot, which yated means peg. And with that, the number of alphabet of those pictures dropped from a few thousand to a few hundred. And we should not be surprised, because until now we have the Chinese people, the Chinese language, which is it is spoken by probably a fifth of humanity. Until now, they still use the كتاب يتدوت, the peg letters. Now, later on, the Egyptians developed the hieroglyphic writing that was uncovered and was understood in the last 150 years. And then later on, the Phoenicians, Phoenician, which is a people who lived on the coast of Lebanon, but they had very developed sea trade, that they went all the way to the western part of the Mediterranean. They built a famous city called Carthage, which is now in Tunisia. They have their own. They developed an alphabet that has less than 30 characters. So from few thousand to 30, it became much easier to write, and then every character it represents a voice. The Aleph and the Bet B and the Gimel and so on and so forth. And so that kind of writing was adopted, and we are talking about 2,000 years, between 2,000 to 1,500 years before the Common Era. It was adopted by the Persian, and the Persian was the superpower at that period of the history throughout the Middle East, including the land of Israel. And it was adopted, and it became the official language. Now, around the time of Shlomo, we do know that David Melech, his father, came to Jerusalem in the year 1000 before the Common Era. I remember when here everyone was busy with Y2K. In Israel, they were in Jerusalem specifically. They were celebrating Y3K, because David Melech came to Jerusalem 3,000 years ago. So a few years after him, King Shlomo, that kind of writing became were adopted. So now this is the scientific or the epigraphic understanding of the development of the writing of all the humanity. Now, what about we will go back to our question. The question is, how, in what type of alphabet it was, the Shnei Luchot Habarit was given, the Torah was given, because in the Torah, quite in few places, Hashem said that we have to write. We mentioned ויכתב השם ותרם אליי. In Amalek, it says כתוב זאת זיכרון בספר ושים באוזני יהושע, ועתה כתבו לכם את השירה in פרשת האזינו, וכתב לה ספר כריתות. When you write get, and so on and so forth. So in what language it was given? In fact, it was a debate during the Tanaim in Masechet Sanhedrin. And by the way, I did get that. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar very much with the Talmud, except here and there. So I'm not going to mislead anyone that I know Talmud. However, this particular part was taken from an article written by Haggai Mizgav that appeared in the weekly parasha of Bar Ilan University. It says that in Sanhedrin Kaf Aleph, the page 21, that Tanya Rabbi Yossi Omer, ראוי היה עזרא שתינתן התורה על ידו לישראל. الملك Moshe, that he should, that Ezra was great, that he should entitled, he's capable of giving the Torah to Israel. However, Moshe preceded him. ואף פי שלא נתן התורה על ידו, משתנה על ידו הכתב. But even though that he did not give the Torah, the writing changed by him, and by him. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, however, he says that the writing was in Ashurit, which is the one that we use today to write the Sefer Torah, and today also the everyday's Hebrew. However, because they kilkelu, because they shahatu, that they sinned, it became an impediment to them. And then when they return b'tshuva, they are using now the Ashurit. And he says that at his time that K'tab Ashuri is a K'tab of Lashon HaKodesh. There is Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar from Rabbi Elazar Mudai. He says that it never changed, that always was in Ashurit. So here we can see that the rabbi, they wanted to find out that there, if it is that the authentic Hebrew writing is what we call the Avri or K'tab Das. This is archaic name of what we see on the shekel. That this is really Shogash. They want to try to have explanation that fits everyone. So Rabbi Yosef probably he felt that it was not. So now why, how come we say that this is the Ketubet Shel HaKodesh? He said that because the halacha, because the rabbi determined that this is Lashon HaKodesh, this is how we write the Sefer Torot, this is become that. So it is related to the determination of the rabbi. And we have few issues, few examples like that in our Torah. However, the Rabbi Yehuda Nasi and Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, they did not want to say that the authentic is not Kadosh. They tried to find a way to reconcile both of them. Incidentally, Harambam Beferush said that the Torah was was given in K'tab Ashuri, which is what we have today. He also mentioned, because he saw apparently Torah of the Aidat HaShomronim, which is a small sect in Jericho, that they write still the Sefer Torah in the K'tab Avri, which is the confusing, in that was available during the first temple period. So now it means that when what Ezra did is that we see that the Jews went to the exile, to the Babylonian exile, with kind of alphabet. They came back with different language, the Aramaic language, and with different alphabet. So what Ezra did, he established that what they came back with, let's make that as we to formalize it as the writing of Lashon HaKodesh. And incidentally, for the previous for the alphabet that was common in the first century, we see in addition to the shekel that we mentioned, in those who visit Ir David in Yerushalayim, where Haskiyahu dug the tunnel when Sanherib had set siege on Yerushalayim, there is inscription in the previous in the Ketv Avri, Ketv Das, and there are other archaeological findings, like they call that the Ketv Shiloah, fi Ketv Arad, where there is a governor of that part of Israel, the southern part of the Dead Sea. His name is Eliashib, where the king was telling him what to do to prevent disasters by the Romans. So we have well documented. On the shekel, if we compare the present alphabet with what we had, it says Yehud. Yud, He, Dalet. That's what it says. And it is written from the bottom right clockwise to the top. On the 10 shekel coin, it's written from really left to right, Legulat Zion, and I was able to decipher that because the Lamed, Lig Ulat, Lamed and Lamed, was repeated twice, so I was able to tell that it was written from left to right at that time. And it, as a matter of fact, for a few hundred years, it was written. It could have been read from right to left and left to right until it was finalized at that time. So now, to put everything together, it's important to understand that because now, with the advancement of the science of archaeology, we are discovering more and more material that were for Hebrew that was written in different alphabet. It's important to know and understand that. The other thing is, even though we mentioned all this scientific understanding of the development of the alphabet, it is a Jewish understanding that just like the first language that Hashem created Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or, Vayomer Elohim Yehi Rakea B'Koshaim. He was talking in Hebrew. We believe also that the alphabet, that the one that we use today, is the one that is the first language, and it stayed like that until the Tower of Babel. And incidentally, we call it Babel Kishan Balal Hashem Sefatam. That's where he mixed the languages. It is also a Hebrew word that we until then. So the original writing is that writing. And we also believe in the Zohar it says that the first Hashem created Aleph, and then from Aleph created Bet and Gimel and so on and so forth. This is our understanding. I mean, in any event, what we have now is that now we have that Lashon HaKodesh, we have Ktav Shel Lashon HaKodesh. It is called Ashurit, not because it came from Assyria, but it is because it is Me'ushar, it is lucky, it is precise, and it is very well understood. The letters are separate from each other. They are not mixed with each other to create confusion. And and also we need to understand the importance of the writing. We do know in Masechet Avot, in Perek He, that 10 things were created Yom Shishi Ben HaShamashot, and those are the mouth of the earth, the mouth of the well, the mouth of the donkey of Aton, the man, the rainbow, and the Matteh. And the last 4 of them, Shamir, the Kettab, the Mechtab, and the tablets, are all related really to writing. It is really, and we do know that only special things were created at that time of the week between Hol and Kodesh because they are special. It's interesting that 4 of them, Hashamir is, they say that in the Urim with Tumim, Moshe, he wrote the names of the Shevatim, and then he put and then on the stones, and then the Shamir, which is kind of worm, he put it on it and it engraved it, and this is the same worm that Shlomo Melech used to build Beit HaMikdash Rishon. So it is interesting that the rabbis gave such tremendous importance to the issue of the writing, that 4 out of the 10 items that Hashem created at the end of the week were related to writing. And it is no wonder that we are the people of the book, Am Sefer, and we give such importance to writing. So I hope that we shed light on that topic and have better understanding of our holy language. Shabbat Shalom.